to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Colin Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Phantasmic Journey podcast. We are coming to you live from the PGH Studios. Syndication is brought to you in part by WGKC Radio Live and Live 365. You can listen to the live broadcast via the Live 365 app for your Apple or Android phone. But if you're like me, you might want to go to your PC and type in www.live365.com. Now on with the show. Lots of strange things going on out in these paranormal realms these days. What weird and wacky stories do you got for us tonight, Paula?
Well, I'm trying to bring it up on my phone, and it's being slow. I think everybody has internet issues today.
I do believe it's due to weather.
Today is National Stress Awareness Day.
Not for you.
Today,
You're a birthday girl. You're 44.
Oh, shut up.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, sorry.
Today is National Nachos Day. Well, we had our nachos a while ago.
I really didn't get a chance to touch the chips.
And today is National Saxophone Day.
Wait, that's a trumpet. Never mind.
Okay, and on to... Let's see. Okay, where's my other one at? Here it is. We just got back from Niagara Falls.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Well, there's something strange that just happened November 4th in Niagara Falls.
Somebody go over in a bucket?
No, there was a barge stuck in the rapids for 100 years, finally moved by the storm. The boat, which grounded in shallows in 1918, moved about 50 meters towards the drop after breaking loose in a high wind.
Oh, my.
The barge, which has been stuck in the rapids above Niagara Falls for more than 100 years, has been moved by a Halloween storm. The boat briefly broke loose as the river above the falls was battered by high winds and rains on Thursday, the Niagara Parks Commission said.
I don't remember seeing no barge there.
The rusty iron... There's what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
The rusty iron skull moved about 50 meters downstream before becoming lodged again, according to the Washington Post. Jim Hill, the commissioner's senior heritage manager, said the barge, while not currently moving, appears to have flipped on its side and spun around.
Oh, okay.
Officials are monitoring the vessel and said it could be stuck in its new location for days or years. The vessel, known as a dumping scow, broke free of the tug towing it during a dredging operation. It became lodged on rocks about a third of a mile from a brink of Horseshoe Falls, one of the 3 separate waterfalls that make up Niagara Falls. The 2 men on board had the presence of mind to open its bottom doors, flooding the vessel and slowing its progress towards the drop. The men were rescued the following day. And that's the one that originally happened in 1918. Now, my other story for tonight, if I can pull it up. Waiting for it to load. Come on.
And we're waiting.
Well, it's a blank screen, as you can see.
Yep.
Come on.
Any day now. Yep.
What is its problem?
Phone technology is just so wonderful.
Come on.
Your phone sucks.
No, it's just, it's on Wi-Fi, and it's, if I take it off of Wi-Fi, will it?
Probably. Take it off of Wi-Fi.
Done. See if it makes it go faster.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
Everybody's having Wi-Fi issues.
I tried to kill a spider with glitter body spray. Now it won't stop stripping, and now I have to call it cinnamon.
Well, you know. Okay, let's see if we can go back down here again and see if I can pull it up. Oh, come on. What is your problem? Okay, it's spinning.
No, that's a good part.
It's thinking. There we go. I see a screen. Here we go.
Yay!
It's called Granny Sue's News and Reviews. Have anybody heard about this website? Storytelling ought to not be too tame. They are to be wild creatures who function adequately in society. They are best in disguise. If they lose all these wildness, they cannot give us the true joys. I first heard the story of the haunted Silver Run Tunnel about 20 years ago, but it takes me this long to visit it. The Silver Run Tunnel, number 19, is located in the North Bend Rail Trail not far from the town of Cairo, West Virginia. The North Bend Rail Trail has 10 tunnels, including its 72-mile length, with 2 abandoned tunnels close by and another 10 place where old tunnels were opened up into cuts called daylighting. Mark Twain once referred to the original railroad line as the Appalachian Subway because there were so many tunnels. So for my husband and I had been through 5 to the remaining tunnels and explored one of the abandoned tunnels as well as the Eaton Tunnel, a collapsed and sealed tunnel which has a ghost story of its own. You can read the story on Eaton Tunnel in this blog post. This is one of the more tunnels with stories of hauntings and another that should have a story because of a horrid train wreck that occurred there. Here's the general story. As usual with such folk legends, there are several versions. Basically, there was a young woman who waited at the Silver Run station for her young man. They were to be married. So she was wearing a long white dress. She was beautiful, the story says, with long black hair. Her young man never arrived. Perhaps she jumped, or perhaps she was so upset she just stepped in front of the train without looking. But ever since then, engineers have reported seeing a woman at the mouth of the Silver Run Tunnel. She appears when it's too late to stop the train, try as they might, and just before they hit her, she shoots up over the train and disappears.
Wow.
To get back to Silver Run, we had a vague directions from park staff at the North Bend Lodge, and the map they gave us made it look simple enough. We drove into Cairo, found the trail entrance, and started walking. It was a chilly but beautiful morning, and we were enjoying the walk when I noticed that we were walking east and the tunnel was west of town. We turned around and headed back. Fortunately, before we were gone too far, we asked for more questions, got some more vague, hand-waving instructions, and tried again. This time we drove a little ways out of town and found a road marked Silver Run Road. So we were sure we'd found the right place, but when we dead end into someone's yard, we found out we were mistaken again. The nice lady who lived there came outside and hollered directions over the barking of several dogs. Third time was a charm. We found the right parking area and where the tunnel, which within minutes. I was glad we had it ourselves for a little while, just to feel the atmosphere. Soon some young men and children arrived, and it got a little noisy.
Uh-oh.
As soon after them, a large group of teenagers came, and they were having a blast, whooping and hollering and scaring each other, which gave Larry an idea. All along the length of the tunnel are manholes, which are alcoves just big enough for a man to get out of the way of a come-on train. He tucked himself inside one near the western end of the tunnel and waited. I was outside the tunnel's western portal entrance at the point and decided to help him out by staying visible the approached teenagers. I took photos and generally meandered around. Eventually, they came to where Larry was hiding. They were looking at me, probably wondering what I was doing. When Larry jumped out with a loud shout, those poor kids cleared the ground by several feet. It was so funny. Most of them laughed, although a couple of the girls gave Larry some dirty looks. Oh, well, they wanted a scare, and they certainly got one. I'm just glad Larry didn't get punched. They were all very good sports about it. It was time to leave. Although I could have stayed longer, we wanted the kids to have the place to themselves for a while, just as we had. Of course, we saw no ghost, and with so much noise from other people, there wasn't much chance of hearing or seeing anything, but we enjoyed the walk and finally gave to seeing this story placed. So it was an old tunnel, and I've seen the pictures, and it's a creepy little tunnel.
Yeah, where is this tunnel, though?
It's in West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Because in Indiana, there's Tunnelton Tunnel or something like that.
Well, they've got 72 altogether if they add up all the abandoned tunnels in West Virginia on this one route, train route. It's 72 miles worth of tunnels.
Damn. Well, the Tunnelton Tunnel I'm talking about in Indiana, right up above the tunnel is a cemetery. So the tunnel is now collapsing because the coffins are coming through the ceiling.
Oh, my.
And they also have those little cubby holes, too, that guy was talking about, the hide-in.
Yeah.
Although this Tunnelton Tunnel has the railroad tracks because the train still goes through there.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, we have any Supernatural fans out there? I bet you all heard the unfortunate news that happened with Jared Padalecki. But this is what Jensen says. Jensen said Supernatural co-star Jared Padalecki is doing fine after Padalecki was arrested in Austin, Texas on 2 counts of assault and 1 count of public intoxication. After reportedly striking 2 people last weekend, Padalecki has since returned to work and earlier expressed regrets over missing the DC Con. Jensen appeared solo before being joined by Misha Collin. Jensen said, "I want to sincerely thank my family and friends for all your love and support, and I kind of like the idea that I get to do things solo. So, can we do a solo gold panel next year?" "I'm kidding. Well, I miss my big dumb friend," Ackles added. Padalecki had a bad weekend. Last weekend he was dealing with, got him to deal with. So just send him some support, love, and have a great weekend this week. Kind of funny. But check this out. Jensen Ackles had to have some fun with him. When he showed up on set, because he had a couple days off last week, which turned out to be a good thing, but when he showed up on Wednesday, I brought him in handcuffs, Ackles said. So we were having so much fun with this. The crew really wanted to wear orange jumpsuits, but we couldn't get them in time. So it was like we thought it was a bad idea. We certainly were going to roll with it, but he's doing fine. He sends his love, and you're stuck with me today. Neat part is we're actually going to go take a detour when we go to Texas later this month, and we are heading to Austin, Texas to go hang out at the Family Business Brewery. And if you guys have done your homework, you know who owns it. Jensen Ackles. So, our guest tonight is from the Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers, which is a non-profit group. The team resides in the state of Michigan to help provide answers accurate as possible for one seeking assistance or advice to anyone at any time. They update their knowledge and their equipment regularly to provide the best service possible to the communities around the U.S., as well as around the world. Mainly in the state of Michigan, Cherry Capital's Shadow Seekers had been in the service for 1 year and continue to do so for many years to come, with also, as always, question service free to the public. They are also taking part of an amazing TV show called Truth or Legends in Your Hometown. What an amazing journey it's been for them. I'm talking about the team leaders of Cherry Capital's Shadow Seekers, Daniel Everson and his fiancée, Jamie Hunt. How are you guys doing this evening?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good.
We are now. After all.
Yeah, we're suffering a snowstorm right now. Heavy winds and rain. Ugh.
Well, hopefully it's going to be kind of tapered off by the time we come up there.
Yeah, I got to thinking. I was like, when you said that the other day, I was like, "Yep, I remember." I grew up in Texas too, so when I moved to start driving here in Michigan, it was something.
That's why I said, what about Southern drivers? Because we maybe get one snow that maybe is a half an inch to 2 inches, and that's about it.
Right?
And it's like, and then when we do that, the schools are closed, the whole town shuts down.
No, wait. You're talking about Nashville, where they take a little ruler and they measure the snow, and if it's like an inch, then they're like, oh, crap, shut the city down. Buses, everybody closed. 1 inch of snow on the ground.
Well, Livingston,
I'm not talking about stacked. I'm talking about flat.
Well, I'm talking about Livingston County. All they had to do was holler snowflake, and they closed the school.
Well, yeah. They do that in Nashville too. You got people running around, going to all the Walmarts, grabbing up all the eggs, milk, and bread. I mean, what are they going to do? Make French toast?
French toast. I know. I said every time I go, oh, we're going to make French toast.
I mean,
don't forget the TP.
How many times have they kept schools open when it was like visibility like so poor, like you can't see a foot in front of you?
Oh my God!
They'll keep schools open around here
because we have too many snow days.
Exactly.
Oh my God! It kind of reminds me of those memes that are online. It shows a car that's submerged in snow, got the dude's hand sticking up, and you got this other person saying, "You're going to come into work today, right?"
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid going up on top of the roof and just jumping right off the roof into the snowbank.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's a high snowdrift.
Oh yeah.
And they don't find you for weeks.
No.
It'll be like we were watching, what's his name? Brad Williams. He's a dwarf comedian. And he was in New York, and people were like, yeah, it's going to be cool. You know, the snowdrift's about 4 feet tall, and it's going to be so beautiful. And he's like, I'm 4 feet tall. I will die. So what's he do? He goes to Walmart, and he gets in one of those bike flags with a stick, and he walks with it, and he goes, I will be fine. People will find me. Yeah. I cracked up when I heard that. So, the way our show works, we're going to go ahead and ask you a bunch of questions, and of course, you guys go ahead and answer them for our listeners that are listening. And of course, our first question that we always start off with all of our guests is, how long have you been a ghost hunter? And of course, we're going to go ahead and ask one at a time. So, who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, I wouldn't consider myself a ghost hunter. I consider myself a paranormal researcher in a way, because what we pretty much do is research, and we don't really want to hunt ghosts. We want to research them because there's a lot of questions that we have behind what we do. But I've been involved in the field. I would consider 10 years, because I did 5 years of research before I started off and wanting to join a local paranormal team, and after my 5 years was up, I was ready. I seeked out a local paranormal team. Led the wrong way, so I had no choice but start my own thing. Did that, and was part of that. And then I went and I closed that team down to build my knowledge up as a team leader and learn a little bit more in our field. So I joined another local team and was with them for about a year and started my own thing again. And then it led into getting back with Jamie here, and I've been involved in the paranormal field for 5 years now.
Cool.
And 5 years research, still continuing to research.
Well, there you go. Jamie?
Well, let's see. I don't really remember a time when I wasn't into this. At age 3, I drowned, and my mom said that it kind of changed me. I mean, besides the fact that we lived in a haunted house when I was growing up to begin with, my dad's first wife was in a tragic car accident, and that was her house. And she came and visited my mom a lot because she was checking up on her son. After age 3, my mom said that I would just sit in rooms by myself and talk to people. And she said, and at 3 years old, you're having conversations that I don't know how you're having because nothing a 3-year-old would be talking about. But my mom was Native American, and she didn't think it was taboo or anything to talk about, you know, supernatural, paranormal, all kinds of things. It was just like table talk. And I have 3 sisters that are into it as well. And it's just always been something in our family. And, you know, by age 12, I was like, well, why isn't, you know, I'd talk to my friends about it. Like, why aren't you guys talking about it at your house? This is normal. And then I would take them and we'd go to graveyards and we'd seek out, you know, all kinds of different haunted houses that we thought were in our town. And, you know, back when I was little, we didn't have all these, you know, we didn't have cameras and stuff like that. I remember the first time that we took pictures, we had a camera and it did inverted on you. Like you could take an inverted picture where you reverse the black and the white. Right. And we were taking pictures, all kinds of pictures in these old houses in our towns like that.
Huh.
You see, I was involved with the fire department for about 5 years here in our local community. And a lot of our job requires is knowing the area and knowing your local laws and state laws. So I pretty much what drawing me into the paranormal field was the fact that I couldn't get by my state written exam for firefighter 1 and 2. I completed the course, but didn't get by the state written exam. So I wanted to be that public safety job. And I figured, you know, what more opt to join in the paranormal field? Because I had questions behind, is there quote unquote ghosts out there? You know, I would like to learn more about it. Because I mean, remember the show called MTV Fear, and I used to watch that quite a bit. And it was around when I was in high school, and I had a little experience in my room where my friends took a picture in my room, and there was a face in my room, literally. Nobody was in there, but it was a face, literally, in my room. Couldn't explain too much about it, so here I am now today doing this, too. So it's pretty fun, what I've experienced.
So, from what I'm hearing, when you drowned, you basically had a near-death experience.
Oh, yeah, my mom had to give me mouth-to-mouth.
And then ever since then, you are now gifted with a gift. That is just so weird. I'm beginning to see that everyone that has a near-death experience winds up coming back, and they actually have a gift now.
Yeah. I didn't even know about that until I started studying it, like in my mid to late 20s, because I studied metaphysical science and psychology and stuff in college, and I didn't have a clue that was, you know, that was a thing until then. And then I started reading about people's near-death experiences and how it changed their whole entire being. It changed their gifts. It changed their everything.
From my understanding and from my research when looking into this, I have come to the conclusion, this is my own opinion, that when you have a near-death experience and then you come back, basically it has opened up another part of your brain that usually lays dormant before you had the near-death experience. So it's like it opens up something in your brain that allows you to have this gift.
Right.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see. Yeah.
I mean, you have...
It's like you're attacking your system or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to use your third eye, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it had opened up that, what they call it, the pineal gland or something like that? Yeah, it's a little...
Right.
Yeah. And then also...
Yeah, like I said, by the time I was 12, I was like, oh, why can't you guys, you know, talking to my friends, why can't you guys see and hear the things that I see and hear? Why aren't your parents talking about this with you? You know, I didn't understand it. Normal.
Right. Well, we definitely don't need to ask this question about what made you become interested in the paranormal, because I think we just found that out. But when you guys started your team, what was your first case?
Pierre Cheney.
Yeah, Pierre Cheney.
We did Pierre Cheney Cemetery.
I was involved with Chair Capital Paranormal Investigations, and Jamie was.
But we had merged our teams
Yeah.
together because we couldn't get enough participation from either of our teams.
Right.
So we were friends. We had been on the same team before together, and I was like, "Hey, Daniel, you want to bring, because his one friend Cody would always be, teammate Cody would always be there, and I had like two girls that would always be there with me. And I'm like, hey, let's just everybody go together and we'll start doing this together. So, and then we went to Pierre Cheney, and that's it's a pretty cool location. Unfortunately, the township's pretty shitty about people being there now, but it's
Yeah.
it's an abandoned town that is no longer there.
Yeah, that's a major thing that we got to follow is state laws. Like I said, we're not going to want to trespass, and a lot of the cemeteries around here don't allow you to investigate at night. So it's like one of those things that we do is we seek out who is owner of these cemeteries, and we'll ask them if we can get permission. And,
and Pierre Cheney was actually an abandoned town, too.
Yeah.
It was next to the cemetery, so.
Oh, wow. It kind of reminds me of the time when we did a cemetery. We told the church we were going to be out there. We even told somebody that was working with the church we were going to be out there. But yet we're out here at the German cemetery. We're doing our investigation. Next thing you know, a cop shows up. Now, I'm up on the hill with my recorder on, and I got my camera going, my flashlight, and he's down below going, hey! And I'm like, what? He goes, what are you doing? Investigating. He kind of pauses and he goes, investigating what? I looked at the team and I said, looked back at him and said, dead people? He goes, all right, come down here. So sure enough, we meet him down at the gate, and he's like, we've gotten some phone calls where they said that people have seen some people up here with some tools in their grave robbing. And I'm like, okay, I have a camera and a flashlight and a record. I don't think I can dig graves with these.
Yeah, it was the neighbors.
It was the neighbors.
The neighbors didn't know we were doing an investigation, so they thought we were coming digging up the dead and robbing them.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So then he asked what we were doing, and we told him that we're ghost hunters and we're actually investigating the cemetery. He goes, I'm not even going to write this in, but y'all need to just pack up and mosey on out.
Yeah, we were at Pierre Cheney last year, and there was like, I don't know, 6 of us there, and Pierre Cheney is really hard to get back to. It's like I said, it's an abandoned town that's gone now, and
we had to literally cut branches in the middle of a 2-track.
Yeah, we had to cut down dead trees and stuff on the 2-track, so it's not like you can see it and hear it from the roads and stuff like that.
Right.
So we were back there, we were investigating, and all of a sudden I was like, there's people, Daniel, and he's like, where? And I'm like, no, real people with flashlights walking down the road. And
I think it was weird.
There was like 20 people coming down the road with flashlights, and we talked to them, and they were doing tours of the cemetery. But check this out. The township had gave them permission to be at Pierre Cheney, and they were giving all of the proceeds that they made from the tours to preserve the Pierre Cheney cemetery.
Right.
So the township had approved it. While the second night that they were out there and the township knew that they were going to be there, they had like 35 people with them, kids and everything. The township calls the police on them. And the police come out there and they're like, we're going to have to, we've got reports that you're out here trespassing this and that, and we're going to have to take you in. And the guys from the group was like, we got 35 people here. Do you think that we're just going to come out here with 35 people, kids and all, if we knew we were going to get in trouble? So that's why we didn't, that's why we haven't been back there, is because ironically that team is our friends, and we hang out with them now, and the township's just really weird about that place now. But, normally, like around here, we have permission from the from the board to be at the cemeteries around here, so that it's not a big deal around here.
And it pays off when you talk to local law enforcement officials, including the Michigan DNR, and all that stuff, and tell them what we're doing and all that stuff. In certain areas, you gotta know at the boat landings around here, they're pretty historical areas, and you gotta have a permit to even consider videotaping on there, because they consider it commercial activity. And you got to obtain the proper permits from the Michigan DNR and all that stuff. So it's good to have that communication with the law enforcement officials around here, because then they know what you're doing and all that stuff. And that's pretty much what I do. Let them all know. They know us pretty well.
So, what is the strangest case you've ever dealt with?
Strangest?
I'd say Traverse City. We walked into a client residential case in an apartment building, and mind you, we had no idea what we were going to be walking into, and we were gathering EMF readings, and there was a doll that caught my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one of about 50 dolls.
Yeah, one of about 50 dolls that she had, and the one was picking up high EMF. And mind you, I had recently purchased a meter from Paratronics that Alan Whitmore created there. It was a handheld meter, and it
several years ago.
Yeah, it was like, what, 3 years ago?
Almost, yeah.
Almost. And my meter was going off, and I asked her, I was like, is there any electronics that would make my electronic device here go off? Because it will pick up electromagnetic fields, meaning it'll pick up any electrical interferences.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no, that this doll is porcelain. And we took EVPs that night and found out it was a little girl trapped in a doll.
That's one of the things. We had a clear EVP from that night that said trapped in doll. And we had movement. We had a ball with a piece of tape on it.
Man.
We had movement. Like, we'd leave the ball alone for a little bit, and we'd be talking to the little girl, and the ball would move. We had it, like, subtly move on the camera, and it was crazy, because it was one of our first client cases, and like he said, we had no idea. The lady just said she was getting touched in the middle of the night, and your TV would come on and off, and she felt creepy.
My phone, I had an iPhone at the time, and it took live imagery, and it detected the eye blinking.
Right.
Okay.
And it even showed the movement in the eyes and the mouth. Even too, if you watch it really closely and you get zoom in, really good on it. And I've analyzed it and analyzed it and analyzed it, and it was like, it just baffles me.
Huh.
One of those cases that we really never really talk about too often, but it was an eye-opener, that's for sure, because we had no idea we were going to be dealing with a haunted doll.
Right.
And something to find out in the end there, we had to close the case due to the fact that the client had donated the doll to the Salvation Army in the local community.
Oh,
wow.
That's lovely.
Against our wishes, yeah.
Yeah. So anybody in the local community has went to a Salvation Army and has got a doll and it's haunted, please contact Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers. It could be that one.
Wow.
You're right.
So, do you believe that some people are more perceptive to the paranormal activities than others?
Oh, for sure. I believe that if you were raised, and I think it all starts with how you were raised too, because if you were raised not to believe in it, not to be open to it, not, any of this, then it's going to be really hard for your mind and for your, to wrap around anything that's, paranormal, or because I think that if you're raised like that, then you're naturally just blocking it out. So I think that certain people that have the gifts and that were raised open-minded, I think that they are more perceptive to it. I have a really good friend that she believes in it now, but she was raised, in a really strict Christian household where it was not even allowed to be talked about. And And she's just, she's in her 40s, and she's just starting, to open up her mind and be able to see more things. Like she'll notice things that she never noticed before. So yeah, I believe that some people are more perceptive, and I think it starts when you're young. And your brain's a sponge,
Yeah, makes
started
sense
out
to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I pretty much started out skeptic. I mean, I really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I saw with the picture, it baffled me, but I wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see if there's actually something, that was unknown out there, yet, we had no idea about. And since I've been in the field, it's opened my mind up to a lot of things, because, it's really opened me up, because I found out recently, as the years went on, that I'm an empath, and I never really known about that, and I'm really sensitive when it comes to certain things, I may be involved in an investigation, and then coming to find out, walk in the room, I start bawling my eyes out. It's like, what? Why am I crying right now? And then find out that something, happened that was really sad in that one area, general area, and it's like, oh, scratches my head a little bit. But, it's one of those things, since I've been involved in the paranormal field, not only has it brought me love, it brought me Jamie, but, it's really opened my eyes to that, that question I had, when I first started, it's pretty amazing.
Sounds like it. So, what are your techniques? What do you do to communicate with spirits?
Well, mine are pretty simple. My favorite technique is me. me and my voice recorder. I can get anything, pretty much anything, to come talk to me if I sit alone in a room with my voice recorder. I don't need, and I don't use the tools. I don't use any of the equipment really, and I don't need or use anything. And besides the fact that if I do, right, I was just going to say, besides the fact that I make equipment malfunction if I touch it too long,
right?
That I just don't. I don't play with it. So that's the tools as I use. I use myself, and I use my voice recorder.
I'm pretty much the same way. Me, I use my senses. I call them my spidey senses. Everybody laughs at it, and Jamie will go and shake her head and close her eyes like a little bit. But I call them. It's the easiest way of putting it is I call it my spidey senses in a way, and I get really sensitive when I know there's something, that I can't see with my own eyes, but yet, you can sense that it is there. But I also use our equipment too, I love our electroscope. Our electroscope is really, that's my favorite tool of the whole bunch, our pair bug, I call it. As Chris and Tennessee Ray Chasers do, but we do a lot of ITC research as well. We use a lot of Dave Miller's ITC Legion apps. We use our Pultricon PDA quite a bit. I love that device when it's coming to responses. And, out here, we're so remote. It's one thing when you're in the cities and you're going to get a lot of interference, but when you're out here in the remote areas, when you guys get out here, you'll see how remote we are. But when we do ITC research, we could be out in the middle of nowhere, and we're getting responses left and right. And it's like, how is this coming over this app here when there's not a frequency anywhere in sight, and we're hardly getting any service on our cell phones, let alone this is coming through our app here. It's amazing. I do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Only thing is, when it comes to apps, we make sure that our phones are actually on airplane mode. Wi-Fi is turned off, so that way there is no communication whatsoever with any radio frequencies. And we do have our app actually go off.
Yeah, that's why we like our Poltercom, because it has nothing else on it. There's just the app. There's no other...
Right.
There's nothing else that can come through on that.
Yeah.
Now over my phone, it's been a learning lesson for me, because I've had that in a couple of investigations when my phone goes off and we're in a live broadcast on Facebook, because we do a lot of our investigations live on Facebook, because we like having our audience interact with us and being a part of that investigation to see, things that we may not see, that they can see themselves and everything. We like to introduce them to our broadcast and everything, and I've had that go off, and it's like, man, it made me kind of cringe a little bit, and then I'd have to be like, okay, well, I got to get my phone now and shut this off, but, it's been a learning lesson as I go on.
Oh, yeah. We use, we have our Devil Jersey box, which is similar to a portal, but it's better. And we plug it into, I plug it into the Spiritus app by Chill Seekers. I love their apps. They're phenomenal. They work really cool. And when we had our 3-day sold out event at the Riverview Mansion, I was using the Spiritus, and the answers that were coming out of that thing basically dealt with the location that we were at. And there's no radio frequencies or any of that crap going through it. It's just, It was awesome. I mean, the people were there. And what we did is, I had a crew that was, well, actually, they were my crew. I take half, and Paula takes half. And you got to wear the ghost helmet. So you're wearing the ghost helmet plus the Devil Jersey box, and the Spiritus is going at the same time. And the things that was correlating together was whatever they were seeing from the ghost helmet was actually being answered or talked about through the Spiritus app. So that was pretty interesting for all these people. I mean, we were doing stuff. I had a scientist that came on the crew. And what we do is we do ghostology first. So we teach them about the paranormal, the do's and don'ts. We teach them about the equipment, why we use the equipment, how it works. And I had a scientist on my team, and believe it or not, he experienced the paranormal with us because he's used to doing things scientifically. They have their own methodology. Their basic thing is it has to be in a controlled environment. But when he's sitting down and he feels something sit on his knee and ain't nobody there, yeah, I made a scientist a believer. I was happy.
Yeah. So is that hat thing a lot like the Estes method then?
No, the ghost helmet is basically like the God helmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ghost helmet goes on your head. It has 4 magnets on the left side, 4 magnets on the right side. You have these LEDs that flash in a synchronization. You're in complete darkness. And you just close your eyes, and basically the helmet takes you to different places. I've had people tell us that were wearing it that they suddenly saw a hall, and then they saw a gurney against the wall, and there was a guy sitting on it, and then the dude just turned his head, and then woof, he was right up in his face. And to make sure that this was not a bullshit story, he asked the Spiritus app, he's like, was that you that just got into my face? And it said, yes.
Oh, wow.
People were like, oh, shit, time to go. I had
that's something.
I was going to say, I had two old ladies. Yeah. I had 2 old ladies, and one of them was put the helmet on, and she said that she saw a broken window, and there was a man with a younger child or kid that's all bandaged up, and he's patting the child on the head, and he was like looking down at him, and then all of a sudden he looked on up and saw, like, he actually could see the woman looking at him, and she came to tears. She left after that. She didn't even come back.
Oh, wow.
So the helmet kicks ass.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to try.
So, this is Paula's question. I don't even know. I don't even understand it. Number 7.
Can you dispel the notion that all spirits are evil?
Can we just do what? Like, prove
Can
prove
you
that
dispel? Basically,
what does dispel mean?
Dispel means, are you a Zach Bagans?
Demon!
I'm sorry. I have to throw that question in there every time someone's on the air, and I have to have the thing because I'm sorry. I pick on him all the time.
Dude! Bro! Dude! It's that demon! Oh my God!
Ghost hunting for dummies.
Yeah, that's.
I saw that! I saw that! Oh my God!
I am so going to buy that book just for the hell of it.
Yeah, we watch him for entertainment purposes. I like to laugh at him.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's, he started out with a good notion back when he first started. He was decent back then, and then, it just all got to his head, and he just exaggerated it and made everybody look bad and made the whole TV show thing look bad for a while, and that's
Jimmy,
why.
No, you're acting.
That's why people kind of went, you like what? Because he kind of ruined it for everybody.
Well, you do know Aaron is the one that got us our start.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Paula.
Oh, that's cool.
Paula had a house fire, and it uprooted a lot of things. It didn't burn the whole house down. It just burned like a major portion of the house. But it uprooted some strange things. All of a sudden, she started getting old lady perfume that would come from the dining room, make its way down the hallway, and dissipate. TV channels would change by themselves. You put your keys in one room, they show up somewhere else. But the one thing that took the cake was there was a basketball that went bouncing down the hallway, and there was no basketball in the house.
Ball. And we had
wow.
everybody in the house witnessed it. My kids. And at the time, my ex-brother-in-law was staying with us for a little bit, and he got up off the couch and came to the hallway, and even the dog stopped to see what that was going on.
Yeah, I was at my own house.
Wow.
I was at my own house a couple blocks away, and I'm just flipping through the channels, and I'm just like, I'm bored. I want to watch something, and I came across something that was like a night vision. And growing up, my dad always made me sit down and watch these war movies, so that was a lot of infrared, and so I'm sitting there going, this is probably a damn war movie, but what the hell, I'll watch it. And all of a sudden I saw these three guys running around with cameras and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, cool. So I started watching it. Well, Paula told me a couple days later what was going on in her house, and I'm like, that sounds similar to what I'm watching on TV. It's a show called Ghost Adventures. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I go, since I'm on social media, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can contact one of the guys. And I contacted Aaron on Twitter, and he basically told me, and I quote this until I meet him face to face and tell him, do what we do.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. He goes, I'm just kidding. What do you have for equipment? I'm like, well, let's see. I have a high 8 Sony Handycam, which is a cassette. He's like, oh dear God. I have a digital recorder used in college. I have a regular digital camera. He goes, okay, well, do you have you need to get yourself an EMF detector. And I said, an EM what? He goes, the thing that lights up and goes beepity beep. I'm like, okay. So I wound up doing some research, came across the Ghost Meter Pro, bought 2 of them because they were cheap, cost efficient, they were efficient, and they're highly sensitive. So I wound up getting that, and I told Paula, you know what, we're going to have to probably investigate your house. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm watching the show Ghost Adventures, and they go into these places, and they actually investigate. They talk to whatever is there. How do you feel about that? She's like, okay. Came to her house. We killed the power. We investigated it. Now, of course, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, but it was first time for everything. We got an apparition that showed up on the view screen of the high 8 Sony Handycam because I had a friend that was going through snapping pictures and just happened to snap a picture of the view screen and the camera facing the bedroom, and bam, a little boy showed up.
Oh, wow.
We got an EVP that says leave me alone, but back then that was considered a Class A. I didn't know what the hell that meant. And then we had one that was a Class C, which was the generic get out. And basically, I was doing what Zach was doing. I was going basically room to room with a camera, asking questions. And Paula was asking questions. And all of a sudden, we got Frederick came across the spirit box, which basically was we had our recorder going and we had a white noise generator on our phone. And it came through and said Frederick. So she did some research on her house and found out that there was a 5-year-old little boy named Freddie that died of whooping cough. And and his father is still, well, I don't think he's here anymore, but he was here, Old Man Kerner, because when it was my birthday, we had a party back in the dining room, and we have a picture of, well, it was shot behind me because they were taking a picture of me playing stupid with a dolphin and a cake. I was trying to feed the dolphin a cake, but...
It's a long story.
Yeah. But behind me, on the window, was an exact shape of Old Man Kerner, and she wound up talking to some relatives that are still living, sent her a picture of the whole Kerner family, and she noticed that the image that was on the window matched Old Man Kerner 100%. He was behind me.
Wow.
So, yeah, we investigated her house, and basically what we did is I just put it all together into one big video that was about, what was it, about an hour and 40 minutes or some shit like that? Yeah, an hour and 40 minutes. Put it up on YouTube just for peer review, just to see if people would say, that's bullshit, or, oh my God, that's so cool. So, a week later, got a phone call from a producer, independent network in South Haven, Mississippi. And he's like, man, I love this video. How long you guys been doing this? 1 day. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I've been watching a lot of teams, and basically they just sit cross-legged on the floor and ask questions. Are you here? How did you die? Why are you here? Can you make a noise? And he's just like, you, on the other hand, you were going room to room with a camera, asking questions like you were on a mission. I like that. Okay. He goes, I like you guys so much that I want to sign you to my network. I'm like, okay. What do you want from us? He goes, I want more of that. More of what? He goes, that video. Okay. Okay. So we signed with him. We gave him 13 episodes to his network in South Haven, Mississippi. Brought him 40,000 plus viewers to the network. And, of course, during that time, Amazon caught wind. They said, hey, we want to sign you. So Amazon Studios went ahead and signed us. And we basically did some crew changes because back then we had a show called the Phantasmic Ghost Hunters. And I'm not even sure
I've watched it.
Do what?
I've watched it.
Yeah.
Our first show? Ew. Well, like I tell everybody, that show, basically, we took our viewers on a learning curve with us. As we were learning, so was our viewers, because we didn't know jack shit what the hell we were doing. We were learning it as we went. And, of course, once we finished with the 13th episode, it's like, well, we kind of got a grasp for this. So we did some crew changes. I got rid of my ex. She got rid of her ex. And we signed on with Amazon Studios. Paranormal Journey into the Unknown was born. And things are history. I mean, now we have seasons 2 and 3 getting scouted out to networks. We've already got like 2 currently in negotiation that really want to have season 2 and 3. Of course, when it starts on their network, it's actually going to be seasons 1 and 2 and 3. So we're waiting on that. And of course, right now, you know that we're shooting Truth or Legends in your hometown.
Yay!
So now you know how we got our start. It was basically being at the right place at the right time at the, I didn't go looking for this. It came to us. A lot of people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people bitch at us about it, saying that we're fame seekers and all this crap. It's like, first of all, we didn't go looking for it. It came to us. It fell in our laps. So
Right.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And so now we got, we got a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, Paula and I will be probably on a couple episodes for this other 3 shows that's coming out sometime next year. It's, I can't really say what it is, but it has nothing to do with our stuff. It's actually a network show.
Oh, sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you'll be seeing us on probably 3 networks. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah.
So, and of course, we're taking the paranormal journey overseas. Next year, we'll be in 3 days in London, 2 in Paris, and 3 in Dublin, Ireland, and then back home.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That's
That'd
awesome.
be fun.
So, but anyway, we kind of got a little sidetracked here, but what can you tell people who are afraid of the supernatural?
Here's my specialty, because I'm always the one to talk to the clients, because that's my biggest drive is like to make people not afraid. Like, everybody first was like, oh, you guys want fans and friends, and we're like, no, what we want is we want people to be comfortable with what we do.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people that are out there that do live in a place that has activity, and they're scared because they don't know about it. You're always afraid of things when you don't know about them.
Right.
So to educate people on what they are that we know of so far, what they want, and why they're there, makes people feel more comfortable. If the people feel like, okay, they're not here to attack me, that's not why they're here. They're here because they want to talk to me. They have a message that they want. They're here because I just, remodeled their entire house, and now that they're lost in their house,
Yep.
Things like that make people feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's why we that's why we're so big about the community, is because we want people to be comfortable and come to us and ask us questions and tell us, look, I got activity in my house, I'm a little worried about it. Or, we had one client last winter that the negativity of what was in their house, because they lived in a 125-year-old farmhouse. The negativity was tearing their family apart and scaring their teenage kids, and finally the wife didn't believe and the husband did, and the wife finally allowed the husband to reach out for help. And
wow.
She actually during this, she actually was like, okay, so maybe I am starting to believe in this now.
Right.
Well, whatever negative energy was in the home was trying to break our team up, and we were all like at each other's throats, and it was like we had to take a breather and go take a break, and we all went outside and talked about it for a little bit. And we went back to the client to explain to them what we experienced the night before. Told them that whatever was in their home tried to break us up, and the client actually said, we wouldn't have believed you in the first place if you wouldn't have said that, because that's what it was doing to us.
Right.
It was like, wow, it was really amazing,
Yeah, so if, like I said, if people are afraid, then I encourage them to, reach out and talk to me, because it's not there. I've only come across like one malevolent spirit, and I don't think that they're evil. I just think that you have to think of it this way. If a person was a child murderer or a wife beater in real life, how do you think their spirit's going to act? They're not going to be this nice, sweet Casper. They're going to be angry and anxious and, have all those feelings to them. You just have to figure out what's there and why it's there and what it needs from you.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we've been saying. You're an asshole in life. You're going to be an asshole in the afterlife.
Exactly.
there are demonic spirits out there. There are demons, but
I don't know where they're at.
I don't know where they're at. It's the experience I still have yet. Knock on wood, not ever. But I mean, they are out there, but it's like one of those things where
you don't know where they're at. You don't know you don't know where they're at. They're on Ghost Adventures. Hello.
Exactly.
Zach has them all in his museum.
Oh my god!
I don't even want to discuss his museum.
Why?
Because the fact is that some of the stuff that's... I watched that YouTube video thing.
Yeah, you
where
got Dr. Kevorkian's van in there.
Well, the E! Entertainment... Oh, the guy cracked me up that was interviewing him. They, of course, of all things, they had to send a black guy in
Right?
there.
Scared of his own shadow.
I talk about quality entertainment. They
He's like, I'm going to take you down into the basement. You're going to take me where? Down there. Oh, it's kind of dark down there. Well, yeah, this is where... And Zach goes, this is where I go by myself with my thoughts. He goes, you come down here in the dark for your thoughts? There's something wrong with you. And then he takes him to the room where he has two dead people that are two real skeletons, and oh, jeez.
I love the mirror. The mirror cracked me up.
Oh, the Black Delia mirror?
Yeah, he was cracking me up.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I do want to go to the museum, though. I want to check it out.
Oh, yeah. It'd be pretty cool to go check out.
I don't think I want to, like...
You don't want to go in the museum?
Well,
You have to sign a waiver, though, because it says if you get a demon possession, he's not responsible. I shit you not. It says that. It's part of his waiver.
But he has Charles Manson's false teeth on display. Really?
Yeah, and he's about to have John Wayne Gacy's part of his brain, too.
Oh, I know, right.
Yeah. That's got a little too far.
I think he got a few screws loose.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I think the demon house really got him.
But yeah, it states in his waiver, if you happen to have a demon possession or an oppression, we are not liable for it.
Wow.
Okie dokie! Yay! All of a sudden, you watch people coming out of there, and they're... It's like, well, I ain't going in there now. I mean, good God.
That would be funny.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, we are at the top of the hour here a little bit, and we're going to jump to commercials, and we will be right back with you guys. You are listening to the Phantasmic Journey podcast, and we will be right back after these messages.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad
Council. Been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Bring me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Phantasmic Journey Podcast is brought to you by Tascam and Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Colin Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon. Your journey begins now. As you all path and both the known and unknown, what do we understand? What answers are we trying to achieve? Are there answers? Tonight, we gather to find more verity. Join us as we take the journey into the unknown.
And welcome back to the Phantasmic Journey Podcast. We are coming to you live from the PGH Studios. Syndication is brought to you in part by WGKC, Radio Live, and Live 365. Once again, you can listen to the live broadcast via the Live 365 app for your Apple or Android phones, or go to www.live365. Our guest tonight is the team leaders of Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers. We have been talking to Daniel Everson and his fiancee, Jamie Hunt. So let's bring them back on. Welcome back to the show, folks.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
What
up? Oh, man, them commercials are kind of crazy, ain't they?
At least
Pretty
it's
cool.
At least it's not a repeat. Sometimes we get stuck with one commercial. It plays over and over.
I was making fun of Allison.
Well, you know how that is. We have to play the same freaking one over and over again due to our sponsors. So, yeah, they want to make sure that they get ample time. So that's a given.
And dang Allison.
So, one thing I was going to go ahead and say, you said you watched the original show, the Phantasmic Ghost Hunters. Did you check out the episode that we did called Divorce or Die?
No.
That episode.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that episode was kind of crazy. We were at a house that, I kid you not, any male that lives there, if he is married or just living with the girl, if he's just living with the girl, he somehow mysteriously dies or he just leaves. If he is married, they get a divorce or he mysteriously leaves. And there was one point, I believe the story went that the husband was coming down the stairs and he was greeted by a very massive, dark, black shadow at the foot of the stairs. The next thing you know, he was gone.
Wow.
So we actually captured a moving black shadow there. We set up a camera that was upstairs where they say the TV automatically turns on and turns off, and it's just really bizarre. Nobody's up there, and all of a sudden the TV goes shh all by itself. Well, we had a camera up there, and we were outside at the barn checking out stuff, and looking at the footage, we saw a shadow move across in front of the camera, and even, this is bizarre, but it hit the camera because the camera moved, which is really bizarre.
Wow.
But nobody was there. And then we actually captured, Paula took a picture using her GE digital camera, no flash, and it looked like there was an apparition walking up the stairs. That was pretty cool.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
So this is what's really bizarre. We just started out. We got this network show, and we're like getting kick-ass evidence. It's just unbelievable. We captured an apparition running at this place called Carter's Mill in Simpsonia, Kentucky. And we actually, now we can say we saw an orb because this orb actually had a tail.
Yeah.
So we know we saw an orb.
We've experienced real orbs before too.
Yeah.
We did Right Brain Brewery, and so the night that we were there, we did the investigation at Right Brain Brewery in downtown Traverse City, and we were experiencing two orbs that seemed to come together and then meet and then take off their own ways. So after the investigation, we started talking to the owner, and he was like, I wonder. And he started rolling back his security footage. And every night, he would get on his camera and his security cameras these two orbs that met in the middle of the floor, looked like they were dancing, and then take off their own way.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
It was very cool. And they weren't little bitty ones either. They were a good size.
Yeah. Well, we were having a discussion about this this past weekend, and I came up with an idea how they can differentiate from dust to a real orb. You have your full spectrum camera or your infrared camera, and then you have a run-of-the-mill regular camcorder that cannot see in the dark. Put them side by side and do your filming. Your full spectrum happens to pick up what looks like an orb, but your other camera does not, then it's dust.
Right, yeah.
Because an orb actually has its own illuminance. So a regular camcorder will see a ball of light. So, yeah, I was telling people that's what they need to do, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of teach people. Former owner calls ghost of interest special or disgrace. Questions police involvement. Uh-oh. Well, I'm sorry. That Conjuring house is bullshit. That is the that is the movie house. That is not the legitimate, real, 100% house based on The Conjuring. That house is in Connecticut because the owners are trying to get rid of the damn thing. Or actually, no, they don't want to sell it. They want to keep it. They just want to stop trespassers from trespassing in their yard. They've got signs that says, no trespassing, but yet people are breaking in their windows, walking on their property, so they can actually get video footage of inside the real Conjuring house. But Ghost Adventures goes to the movie house, and no, I'm sorry. No. It just totally pisses me off on all this stuff. I mean, like when TWC did the Exorcist house, that is not the Exorcist house. It's just a house in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Jesus. So, anyway, let's jump to what location have you investigated?
What location?
Yeah. Which ones have you investigated? Probably a lot, right?
Well, the others.
Okay, well, which one kind of stands out the most?
What do you think? Without going into too much detail, probably the Anchor Inn.
No, Richard C. Burtis house.
Yeah, the Richard C. Burtis house was very cool.
That was aired on Ghost Brothers, Season 1, Episode 1 of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much activity that, people don't realize, we could go film on a location and get a lot of activity, but yet a lot, you can't really put on a, what is it, hour-long episode or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those places where it was so amazing because, we're getting activity the whole night there.
Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, the feeling alone in the house was very, I don't know, like just a very
ominous?
southern feeling.
Ominous?
Yeah, kind of ominous.
Yeah.
Like the whole house was ruled with an iron fist kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
And, it's in the middle of nowhere and downstate, start like almost like 3 hours. Yeah, I was going to say it's quite a drive for us. And it's literally in cornfields. And, we talked, the owners were talking to us and they were saying that they used to have slaves there. And,
mm-hmm.
They had their own quarters and the people were rich. And
the basement was supposed to be like the Underground Railroad.
And the family...
Mm-hmm.
The family of the man who owned the house for most of it, most of the time, refuses to talk about the man or have anything to do with the house, and they live a mile down the road.
Okay.
And they won't talk to the clients about, their relative that lived there and owned the house.
Huh.
So that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
We were there for how long? 8 hours?
Yeah.
We were there for 8 hours, and I placed my red light up right next to our laptop because we had a camera. We were using the camera off of our laptop into the little hallway where there was a lot of activity in the hallway. So I set my red light up to give some lighting for the camera to be at view there. Well, 8 hours later, go back to the camera, and the camera's laid down on its side.
Oh, wow.
The camera and the light was on.
And it wasn't the clients, of course, because one of them was pregnant and bedridden, and the other one was with us for a lot of the night.
The strange thing was Jamie and I and Zach, who is our camera tech, got our camera going. We knew the camera was going,
mm-hmm.
but when we went to go look at the footage, there was nothing there.
It starts the video and then it just clicks off. It just
clicks off. But this is stuff the clients there were saying that
they can't keep anything battery operated in their house,
right?
Because it drains it a lot.
When Ghost Brothers was there, they have a touch stove,
mm-hmm.
and the stove turned on by itself. And nobody turned it on. It showed it was great evidence that they had that was on the show that they just filmed,
mm-hmm.
and it literally turned on by itself.
This is the birthday cake house, right?
Wedding cake house.
The wedding cake house.
Yeah, wedding cake, birthday cake, same thing.
It involves a cake.
It involves a cake.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why it's called the wedding cake house is because the tiers of the house is built like a wedding cake.
And he gave it to his wife for a wedding. Right.
Yes.
Where is that at?
Vassar, Michigan.
How far is that from where we're going to be?
3 hours.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, so much for that. I was going to say, damn, we can go check it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places, up here. I mean, straight to Mackinac, you got Fort Michilimack, and you got Fort Mackinac there, and it's where the colonial area.
Traverse City State Hospital is even cool to investigate, even if we can't get in the buildings, because you can walk the entire grounds of the state hospital, and it's public domain to walk the sidewalks and up through the trails and everything at the Traverse City State Hospital. You can walk up to the buildings, you just cannot enter them.
AKA Northern Michigan Asylum.
Right.
Yeah, but I thought they turned that into apartments or condos or some shit.
No, there's still six or seven buildings that are still abandoned and not been redone.
Oh, okay.
But they're going to be.
Yeah, the state hospital at one time, I mean, this place is huge. This place was, 25, 30 buildings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just this big span, and even though they've got stores and stuff in the one part of it, and a restaurant, when you walk down into those stores, you can that energy just still radiates through these buildings.
Oh,
but there's still, like about 6 buildings that they haven't touched that are still in its original condition.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's going to be, somewhere near the Opera House?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. A couple, like half a mile from the Opera House, if that.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's a very cool place, and especially when there's snow on the ground. They in the wintertime, they have carriage rides all around the grounds there. It's really cool what they do.
Cool.
Wine tasting and all that stuff. Another cool place that we went to was in Kalamazoo, Henderson Castle. A very beautiful place. Very beautiful. Very historical. The owners of the house are buried in the cemetery across the street on top of a hill overlooking the Henderson Castle, their home.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very beautiful place if anybody can get down in the Kalamazoo.
It's a very nice bed and breakfast.
Sounds like it. All right. Well, have you ever experienced anything that has completely terrified you?
Well, I think that I have. I lived in this crappy little northern town called Tower, Michigan.
Okay.
And Tower, Michigan is way up to the top of Michigan without going over into the UP. It's over about Onaway, and you drive into this town that's barely a town, and the black clouds are just everywhere all the time. It really, when you drive into this town, you get that feeling like you don't want to be there.
Okay.
And I lived in this house, and we rented this house, and it was like this gorgeous house. It was 4 bedrooms. It had an in-law house out back. It had a shed. It had a garage. It had a paved driveway. I was like, dang, this is, we were paying $600 a month for this. I was like, this is great. This is awesome. And the landlord was like, all the electric has been updated, the brand new water heater, blah, blah, blah. And he's going on and on about the, what's been done.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy I was with at the time didn't believe anything paranormal, even though he knew, I completely did. He would just black out what I said and stuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first week that we lived there, all the electric in the living room just stopped working. We had to start running extension cords to the living room. The second week, the water heater stopped working, and we'd call the landlord and be like, what's going on? And he'd come over and he'd check, and he'd be like, I can't even tell you. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong with this. I don't know why it's not working. And he's like, I'll hire somebody to come look at it. And, the third week, all my kids, I have 4 kids, and they're all very sensitive to paranormal as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth week, my daughter was like, Mom, who's the man that's coming in my room at night? And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, he just stands there and stares at me for a few minutes and then leaves. Do you know him? And I'm like, no. And, she's like 13 at the time. And then my little boy my youngest was 8.5, and he started getting freaked out because he says, he was like, well, there's this older man that, stands by my closet, and he says he gives me the creeps because Aaron was, like I said, only 8.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, my fiance at the time was like, oh, this is all BS. You guys are all just saying this stuff. So him and his friend were in the basement one day, and we had our stuff stored on the shelves. It was like a shelving unit. And him and his friend were down there messing with some VCRs or DVDs or whatever, putting some back together. And they had, the shelves full of them so they could work on them. And one of them went flying off the top shelf onto his head.
Oh,
and
wow.
he came flying up the steps, and he's like, holy cow. Except he said lots of bad words. And he's like, you're not going to even believe what just happened. And he's pale as can be, and he couldn't believe it. So, all these strange things start happening. We turned off the electricity at the box, and he went to unplug the stove and got a 220 volt. And, I started getting really super sick. Like, it was summertime, and I was so sick that I could barely get out of bed.
Oh, wow.
No explanation for this. There was, I wasn't coughing. It wasn't a cold. It wasn't anything. It's just my body was sick. Like, I just couldn't function. He had to help me out of the house.
Oh,
And
wow.
I started telling my kids, because they're, teenagers, I'm like, we have to move. We have to get out of this house.
Right.
There is something really, really negative here that just does not want me here. And, at first my fiance didn't believe me, and then I started I was not getting better. And my son walked in my room one night and saw something that terrified him, and he didn't, he was the oldest, and he didn't believe in, he listened to me for all of his life talk about this, but he didn't believe in anything. And he said, Mom, when I came into the room and I saw you not laying flat on the bed, you were actually over your bed a few inches. He's like, I jumped out of my skin and wanted to leave that house. So we hired a moving van the next day, and the kids packed up our house faster than ever. While they're packing, I couldn't even sit in the house. I was so sick from this house. I had to sit in a truck down the driveway and off the property. Mm-hmm. And before we could get everything off, the camper battery had died. My fiance's friend's car battery had died. And when they went in for the final trip, we took the moving van to the storage unit and unloaded everything, and we came back. And Ed took pictures on his phone, because he was like, when I came back, he's like, the only thing we had to do was pack up the kitchen. He's like, when I came back, every pot and pan that you own is stacked from the floor to the ceiling.
Oh, wow. No way.
He took a picture of it, and he's like, I just, because he went from being like this big skeptic to this. And, to this day, that just the thought of that place and that house makes me ill to my stomach. So I don't know what was there. I don't know what did this, but it was, whatever it was, just was not good.
You were in a haunted house when you were growing up, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was too.
What happened to your house, Paula? The one you were growing up in. I know you wanted to take me there.
Yeah, the one I was growing up in, because my mom I'm a second generation historian. My mom was the first one. She was part of our local historical society in my little town of Paducah. And
Paducah.
And the old house that I grew up in, that kind of find out that it actually sat on a cemetery, and it sat on a slave cemetery. So we had all kinds of strange stuff go on in my house. I've had experiences growing all the way up, and we had a blue front Amazon parrot. And the blue front Amazon parrot would see things and would talk to it with full-fledged conversations. Now, me talking about an all-natural ghost in equipment, get you a talking bird. The bird will have an interesting conversation with you. Because they see things that we don't see, but yet, unlike cats and dogs, a bird will talk to you if it is... it was my grandfather's bird, and I inherited it, but he taught this bird a lot of language, a lot of good language, a lot of bad language, but but my very first experience in the paranormal was because of this bird, and this bird, we got him to where he would describe what this person looked like, and it is interesting that, well, my grandfather taught him some wrong words, and we asked, what does the person look like? And, well, I put it this way, he eventually put the bad name to this person, and when we found out it was a slave cemetery, you can picture what this bird had said.
Oh, no.
Well, at least the bird doesn't repeat everything. Can you imagine having a bird that repeats stuff? I come home and the bird's like, not in the ass, Teddy. And I'll be like, Petey has been watching porn again. Honey, who's Teddy? Oh, boy.
No, but this bird did do weird things, but he would also see stuff and tell us stuff. The bird would say, well, my mother was like, you know how everybody has that neighborhood where you have that one neighbor.
Please won't you be my neighbor?
That just...
Good morning, neighbor.
You know, when they decide to come to your house and they go to knock on the door, they're kind of like...
Trick or treat.
You don't want to answer the door.
Oh, a Jehovah's Witness?
Well, she wasn't Jehovah's Witness. She was just one of those neighbors that nobody really wanted her to come visit.
We have a sign up on our door that says, we do not want to buy anything. We believe in Jesus Christ, and we talk to the dead
people. I literally have this sign on my front porch, and it's interesting because we have a security system.
And they walk on up and turn right around and walk off.
No, but it was funny. The one time we actually had a van full of Jehovah's Witnesses in the driveway.
Yep.
The one guy comes up, reads our signs, and points at everybody else in the van to get out of the van to come read our sign, and we have this on footage.
Yeah, and then they all just leave.
But yet they still leave a Watchtower brochure.
Personally, I'd like to just answer the door naked. Can I help you? My name's Adam. This is Eve. How can we help you? Our fig leaves are getting washed, so yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was kind of funny to watch. That was a bit scary, too. For us, something that terrified us is when we were investigating a place called the Industrial Slaughterhouse. We actually had 5-inch deep-weld sockets thrown at us.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. One of our investigators got hit in the middle of the back with a piston, and I have pictures of it on, it's on my Facebook. Just got to freaking find it, but yeah, piston was at least 6.5 inches long, and I mean, hit her square in the middle of the back, and then she was sitting on the floor, and you could see something pushed her head forward and slammed it back into the workbench. You can see this on thermal, and then the one that really took the cake is she got sucker punched in the stomach.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
So yeah, everybody got their asses kicked there except me. Paula got sick. Chelsea got sick.
It was basically hitting it was attacking.
It was hitting
all
all
the
the women.
Yeah, it was attacking all the females. All the females had to leave because it was just our team and another team, and all the females.
Well, it was funny though because that team set was like, "This is boring. Nothing's happened. Can't believe I'm wasting all this time." Next thing, they get hit with a 5-inch deep weld socket, and I'm like, "Ha! You pissed them off." Now deal with it.
With me, I don't know if I can say I've had a very terrifying experience, but one of those terrifying experiences I ever had was when I first started. Jamie was a part of North Area Paranormal Society when I was a part. I also had another friend of mine who is also friends of ours there in Pennsylvania that we talked to a lot with Through the Veil Investigations there. Give a shout out to my brother out there. He's a pretty good guy out there.
TTVI. And, TTVI?
Yep. TTVI. They're really good guys. Anyways, I was doing studies one day, doing EVP session. Well, I was an idiot, went by myself. And I mean, I already had an idea. I already knew the property, what was going on in the property. I mean, there was a malevolent spirit on the property that would push people around and get the best of them. Well, me, I'm new, and I'm just getting started. I'm training. You know, I was thought, you know, I would be pretty ready to do this, but apparently I wasn't. I went to the property and conduct the EVP session. Didn't really get much out of the EVP session because I pretty much got spooked out of there.
Okay.
And I left the property immediately and got back to my apartment. And I tell you what, we all were at each other's throats, weren't we, Jamie, that night?
Yeah.
And I was pretty much a jerk that night. And all I remember was before going to bed that night, I mean, I was in that state of mind where, you know, I mean, you know, when you're in a sleep state, but yet you're awake, but yet you can't move. I was in a sleep paralysis state and saw a black cloud hovering above my room where my, because I was only renting a little room. I call it a trap house I was renting at, but I mean, it was pretty much it. But I was renting a small room, and I mean, above the doorway to head out of my room there was a little black cloud. I don't remember if that black cloud came at me or if it stayed right there, but I do know that I could not move, but yet I knew it was there, and that was it. Lights out. And woke up the next morning like nothing really happened, but I remember what had happened that night and just sitting on the edge of my bed scratching my head like, what the hell just happened last night? And called them up and told them about it, and like, yeah, well, you're being a prick last night, you know. And Jamie and everybody was explaining to me, and I explained to them about it. You know, it was pretty crazy there. But I mean, like I say, you know, there's a lot of more terrifying experiences, but I guess, you know, with me starting out, that would terrify somebody.
So you had a demonic oppression.
He had something. I don't know.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, it was
demon.
Just weird.
It was a demon.
All right, Zach.
Guys, I don't feel like myself right now. I need to slow down. I need to take a breath, and I gotta go outside.
Well, you know, Orbis bro spelled backwards.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, man. Yeah.
As a team, have you ever went to a location and you had, and this could be a residential case, this could be, you know, a public investigation, well, a public place you can investigate, either and or. Have you ever been to a location and everybody there is convinced it's haunted or whatever, but you guys as a team can't prove any validity to it?
Ooh, good question, Steve.
Yeah. Definitely several residential cases like that.
Yep.
How can you convince the owners that it's not haunted when they have that mindset in their head that it is?
You get that little pen that Men in Black use, and you tell them to look at it and put your glasses on and stare into the light.
Stare at the light.
It was swamp gas from Venus, and your toilet overflowed, and your heater popped on, and that's what it was.
Right. No, most of these, you know, most of the times we've had these, you have to be kind of gentle with those cases, because the people at these cases that are having, I don't know, fake activity, there's something wrong with them. And
we
they're
try
either
to explain to them there's a lot of psychological aspects behind our field and everything. We try to be as
because there's a lot. There's been several different ones. Like I said, sometimes they're really lonely people, and they're really into this field. So they're like, oh, hey, let's get a paranormal team to come investigate our place because we're lonely and we want them to come find something so that we can be part of it.
Yeah, but
but we've had some people who are on heavy psych meds that have been like, we're being haunted, and you just got to you have to handle it with. You can't just be like, nope, there's nothing here. You have to talk to them about it and say, well, yeah, we'll walk around with our meters and see what we pick up, and let you know if we think that there's a reason to come back for an investigation. And
usually if it's going to be that highly concentrated, then it would lead me to believe that there is a high EMF leak somewhere within the house.
Or someone's got about 500 pounds of weed under a floorboard.
Oh, shit. I don't know why, but I'm hungry. Yeah, you really, when you go to someone's house and they're saying that they're seeing stuff, first thing that we would do, and this is when we did residential, we would actually do a baseline sweep and go through everything, check all the electrical outlets, and see, because, if you've got bad wiring, oh, holy crap, man, that thing's going to be spitting out some high EMF. Make anybody sick to their stomach, nauseous, start hallucinating. Oh, God, yeah. Actually, I found out, this is crazy. I don't know if you guys know about this, but people that have a digital alarm clock, the one that flips, sitting next to their head while they sleep, that sucker gives off a lot of EMF.
So does plasma.
Oh, wow.
Well, we already know about the plasma ball. I put my video out. I put a PSA, a paranormal public service announcement about the plasma ball. I said it's a time bomb. Man, I was showing people how the plasma ball sets off a K2, which is weird. K2 is radio frequencies. A CB can turn that thing off. A radio can turn that thing off. But plasma ball? Wow. Electromagnetic radiation meter. That sucker got turned off, set off.
Well, that one is explanatory because
radiation, because it has gases in it.
Yeah, it has helium and neon mixture.
And then you got the eddy, that was firing off because that straight up EMF. The Mel meter with the REM feature was going off. I'm like, I just don't understand why the K2 was going off, because that is radio frequency sets that sucker off. The spirit box will set it off. A radio will set it off. A walkie-talkie will set it off. CB will set it off. Why in the world does a plasma ball set it off?
Did you figure it out?
Nope. I did an experiment, though. Watch the video. It's on my page. I call it the plasma ball time bomb. Because if you take that and you put all your devices together and they're all emitting EMF, holy shit, that's a bomb right there. I was getting lightheaded when I did that. That thing was just spouting off a lot of EMF because you got all these devices plus a plasma ball in the center. EM pumped on crack.
Well, you have to understand that plasma balls are a high frequency anyway. So maybe that high frequency is why the K2 meter was going off.
I don't know. It has a Tesla coil inside of it. So I don't know if that operates on the same frequency as a radio frequency.
I think the frequency is like 32 to 55 or 60 or something like that.
I have no idea.
It's kind of different to me.
It's kind of hard to actually detect it because every meter I put on it, it goes like way over. So I have no clue. I have no clue. So, well, we are nearing to the end of the show, and this is the time when we actually let you take the floor. tell our listeners where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, if you're going to be in any cool projects, hint, hint. If you're going to be going to any events, invited to any events, things of that nature, your website, and yeah, floor is yours. Tell everybody what you got going on.
Okay, so we're Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and Twitter under the same name so that it's easier to find. Our email is also ccss.cherrycapital@gmail.com. We're on this amazing project that we've been working our butts off for. That these totally two cool people are going to be here this weekend to experience some snow while they film it.
Heck yeah.
Truth or Legends in the hometown. We have been, our community has just been so excited about this because, nothing ever happens around this part of the woods. So to get our community rallied around the paranormal, that's just not heard of around here.
Right.
So
people show up with shotguns in their hand with us.
So this has been it's been a great experience because, we've finally got the community to be okay with this.
Mm-hmm.
We're really super excited about this weekend. And after we do the filming with you guys this weekend, we are actually taking off the months of November and December.
Oh, wow.
And just having some downtime. Christmas time, my birthday, everything's coming.
We don't even know what downtime is.
Gotta get a wedding planned for next year.
Right,
Yeah.
so we're not planning on doing anything this winter yet. The first time that we're going to probably do anything will be, probably be just before the red carpet event.
Oh man, we don't even we don't even have any.
A few things over the winter.
Yeah, we don't even have downtime. We don't even know what downtime is. I mean, gosh, if we're not filming for Truth or Legends, we'll be filming for the Paranormal Journey. If we're not filming for Paranormal Journey, we're filming a movie Lucy. And if we're not filming a movie Lucy, what are we doing?
We're working on other
documentaries. Oh, God.
We got 3 other documentaries in the work. Plus,
Calgon, take me away.
Plus, we have the Death by Chocolate coming.
The what?
We just...
Death by Chocolate, what?
That's in February. That's Death by Chocolate that we're working on.
What's the Death by Chocolate?
That's where we're going to have a Valentine's special.
Oh, geez, that's right. We're going to be back at the mansion on February 14th and 15th.
We're having a murder mystery dinner called Death by Chocolate, followed by a ghost hunt.
Oh.
But isn't the person that's dead a ghost?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be freaky.
It's all something new that me and Lori's been working together for.
Y'all are just nuts.
Yeah, but everybody thinks it's cool.
Y'all just nuts. I got till the end of December to get a teaser put together so I can hand it off to certain networks because they're just dying to get their hands on it.
Woohoo!
So,
awesome.
Yep. So,
very excited. Yeah, I'm right now that December is my busiest month at work. I'm working 60 hours a week right now. And, we do shipping. So shipping is a massive time of the year. So
I believe it. I only work 45 hours a week. I'm off on the weekends. That's how we do all our filming. Sometimes we take Fridays off too, so really depends. I mean, I'm taking Friday off for this one so we can head up to Michigan. We're going to be up at the first location by noon on Saturday, but we're going to be going up Friday morning. We got a few things that we got to do to take care of for the truck before we head up there.
Awesome.
Yep. So, we have had a great time with you guys on the show. I appreciate you guys being on the show. And we will, for the people that actually missed the show, I will have the replay of it hopefully up sometime tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a link on my page. It'll be going to, coming from Spreaker, as well as it'll be uploaded to YouTube, iHeartRadio, all that fun stuff.
Awesome.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you all having us on the show and everything. It's the honor and the privilege.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. So, you guys go play in the snow. We're going to go get warm and probably watch TV for a little bit and then crash.
Yeah.
Hey, it's that thing called sleep. I actually know what that is. Well, sometimes I don't. I usually get like 4-5 hours sleep every night because I'm constantly busy doing stuff.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
Uh-huh. I'm tired now.
Now.
Plus, I got a birthday girl next to me, so yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
You 44-year-old.
Oh, hush. You're going to be... You're,
How old am I going to be?
You're going to be 47 in about 21 days.
21 days?
Oh, hell, I'm 34.
Young whippersnapper.
Flipping around.
Young whippersnapper. Yeah, I'm gonna be 47 on the 27th. Oh dear God, I'm almost to 50. Can I just slow down and you catch up?
Being funny.
Oh, well, shit. I tried. All right then, we will see you guys this weekend. First location, I believe, is, I'm not going to say it live on the air, but we will see you there at our first location to film Truth or Legends in Your Hometown on Saturday at noon.
Okay, sounds great.
So, you guys have a good rest of the evening.
You too.
All right, then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, well, there you have it. We were talking to Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers. That's one of our teams that is currently on team number 4 in Michigan. So we are going to be heading on up there to film Truth or Legend in Your Hometown with them. We've got 4 locations, 4 incredible locations, which we are just can't wait to get there. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed the show. Replays will be on tomorrow on my Facebook page as well as on YouTube and iHeartRadio. Hope everyone has yourself a great rest of the evening, and we are out. Good night.
Good night.
Amazon Studios. For more than 30 years, Tascam has developed products for every segment of the sound and music industry. From the high-end audio professional in a major post-production studio to the novice of hobbyist at home, Tascam is everywhere. They are a company committed to providing their customers audio and video solutions that enable breakthroughs by using sound in ways that are exciting as they are accessible, even recording the voices of the dead. You asked for a non-scripted paranormal TV show. You begged for a non-staged paranormal TV show. You begged and you pleaded, and we have listened. We present to you Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It was released October 31st, 2017. In this series, we show you what it's like behind the scenes and conducting a real paranormal investigation. Join Gavin Kelly, Colin Purcell, and their special guests to seek out the existence of life after death by going to numerous haunted locations such as jails, hospitals, battlefields, and museums, collecting compelling evidence by means of video, photography, and EVPs. In this season, the crew investigates the St. Albans Sanatorium, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Jailhouse Pizza, and the famed Monroe House. And you can watch Season 1 of The Paranormal Journey into the Unknown on Amazon.com right now. Season 2 and 3 will be coming soon.